Hello everyone, today we're going to be playing Seaside Town, which is a Mario 64 ROM hack that I'm playing through Parallel Launcher using romhacking.com integration. Those are all real words that mean things, and they're good things. So why Mario 64 ROM hacks? Well, I've kind of always wanted to play Mario 64 ROM hacks because they're basically their own 3D platforming games. They just weren't very accessible before, but thanks to romhacking.com now they are. There's a secret one-up down here we're going to get real quick. And most Mario 64 ROM hacks are of course 3D platformers, but not this one, not Seaside Town. Seaside Town is a 2D platformer. You'll see what I mean after we talk to this Bob-omb and get what little story exposition there is. It's actually not a bad thing by any means that this is a 2D game instead of a 3D one, because this is one of a couple hacks that I've been using to readjust to Mario 64's movement after having not played it for a while. And because we're only in 2 dimensions, that means I don't have to worry about any of the advanced camera adjustment you have to do for the more complicated platforming. And it being 2-dimensional also means that I can just focus on the particulars of Mario's movement for each jump, instead of worrying about the 3D space so much. That is what 2D means, after all. There are less spatial dimensions to be concerned with. So I can recall things like, yeah, Mario does have quite the turn radius, and oh, right, that is how kicking works as opposed to diving. Can relearn those things without worrying too much about where I'm standing in regards to 3-dimensional space. It also helps a lot that this hack is largely one platforming challenge after another, so relearning Mario's movement was practically a requirement to get through the hack. Plenty of hacks that are more exploration-focused and don't require too much knowledge of how Mario works, but there were a lot of things I needed to learn to get through this hack, and it shows. My first playthrough of this hack was nearly 2 hours long, even though there are only 6 stars. The second playthrough is about 30 minutes. One of my favorite platforming challenges is this one. That Chuckya is edge guarding. It is very hard to get around that Chuckya, so we had to use the triple jump just so to get over them. There are probably other ways to get over them, but that's how I did it. And it forced me to learn exactly how the triple jump works again. I remembered the basics of how the triple jump worked, but there were a lot of nuances I had to puzzle out, like how much momentum plays a factor, and I completely goofed that up. Want to hold back to do a kick. There we go. And this room taught me a lot about side flips and how Mario's jump height works and how not to bonk on platforms above you while you're trying to platform horizontally. Because that's basically the challenge here, is exactly that. If you're not particular with gauging your horizontal and vertical jump height, you won't make it and you'll fall into the lava, or you'll bonk and fall into the lava. And it may not seem like all that big a deal from an outside perspective, perhaps. I think Mario 64 is one of those games that looks easy to play, but rather isn't. Alright, let's see if we can just run in there real quick. No, that's the opposite of... Okay, so next time we'll bait the fire out. I remember one time while trying to get this star, I long jumped too hard and bonked at the wall under the star so viciously that I got knocked back into the pipe and had to redo the challenge again. And that was miserable. Thankfully that's not what happened this time. 2 out of 6 stars already. That's so much better than what it used to be. What I used to be. Who I used to be as a person. So fun fact, you can prevent fall damage with a dive if you use it right. I didn't use it right though. You gotta use it closer to the ground than that. Something I've noticed about people who play Mario 64 a lot is that they seem to have so many backup plans when approaching a situation. Maybe they're not even conscious backup plans, but just ways to get out of the negative consequences of a failed jump. And I'm nowhere near capable of that yet. I have a single idea of how to approach a situation, and if that doesn't work, then I just kind of eat it, and sometimes eating it means dying immediately. But at least I haven't really seen a situation yet where I'm genuinely confused about how to make a jump. That hasn't happened in a while. Learning exactly when you can and can't side flip has been rough, by the way, after playing Lorcan the Leprechaun, because side flips are so lenient in Lorcan the Leprechaun. We only need 6 red coins, by the way. That was our 5th one. Getting 6 red coins will get us the red coin star. We do not need to collect all the red coins in the level. We will be getting all 6 stars available in Seaside Town because that's just the victory condition is what that is. It's not like there's a minimum... Let's try that again. As I was saying, it's not like there's a minimum amount of stars to get to see an ending or anything, because that's not the way this one works. The way this one works is there are 6 platforming challenges and there's a star behind each one, and that's that. There's not really an ending to speak of. So this is tricky. Can't spend too long on these platforms. Means you can't be as methodical with your jumps as I normally would like to. But that's basically all that is. Scaring yourself is the greatest enemy there I've found. I'm not using save states or cheating in any way, by the way. If I were to do that, it would ruin my romhacking.com score. I wouldn't get the star points. That's a joke. I'm not cheating because I don't like cheating. It has nothing to do with my romhacking.com score. I'm never going to be anywhere on the leaderboards. I'm just playing the game the way I want to play it. Nothing more, nothing less. Well, you know what? I'll see you in a minute. Even though I don't personally care about the star point scores on romhacking.com, it is nice that they provide an incentive for playing the game without save states or cheating, because that encourages people to see the design the way it was made instead of using external tools to get around the difficult parts. And I don't think using save states would make me any better at Mario in the long run, really. Anyway, this is the 6th coin, the 6th red coin, rather, and now we can get the red coin star. That will make 4, which means we only have 2 left, and both of them are basically in the same area. They're both pretty tough to get, and I'm probably going to fail to get them many times before I succeed, but we'll give them one... English language. We'll give them 1 attempt each, and then just montage through them until I succeed, if the first attempt doesn't work out. Playing Seaside Town right now is surreal. The way I play it now is so different from how I used to just 2 to 3 hours ago. I've only played the game 2 to 3 hours, so these are the flip platforms. Each time we... I'm going to look up what these are called, hold on. Okay, so these are called red-blue panels. Very literal naming. But they flip each time we jump. It just adds an extra thing to keep track of. The first time you see them, or at least the first time I see them every time, there's a couple seconds of adjustment, but then I get used to it. Alright, let's try for the other star now. We have to wait for the switch to reset, though. That right there, that big exclamation point switch, is a timer switch. When we touch it, something spawns, and it will unspawn after the timer runs out. So we have to make it to these platforms before they unspawn. So, very easy timed platforming. It's just exactly that happens so many times. All right, let's montage through this until I get those 2 stars. Alright, so the trick, as it turns out, to the timed platforming on these boxes is just to not freak out because of the timer. There are slopes there for a reason. We just have to be deliberate with our movement, not panic when we goof something up, and we'll be fine. There we go. Just 1 more star left over by the red and blue panels. And with this last star, it's not even the red and blue panels that are particularly difficult. I find it's just the timing for the platforming on those stone arches that we'll get to shortly. Like, there's a bit more to keep track of with flipping panels, sure, but it's this platforming right here that I find so challenging, nailing that triple jump and landing on this arch. After that, we can just long jump from this panel all the way to the star, which, I greatly prefer that. I know all about how to use long jumps. I use them almost as much as I use the slide kick. In case you're curious, by the way, the slide kick, definitely my favorite Mario 64 move. Not joking, it's not even a contest. I love it. Look at this thing, it's so cool. Anyway, that's Seaside Town. We've gotten all 6 stars. There's no special ending or anything, But there is something I want to show you in the hub area as a sort of send-off to the game.